Anything can happen, but I just believe with the young talent they have right now, there's a good young core here that can develop into a really good team pretty soon.
Got another one in, Simon.
The kitchen remodel project, the product is what's behind me.
Sharp attacks the rim with a two-hand jam.
We're going to compete, and we're going to be uber prepared for whatever our opponent brings at us.
It's about foundation. It's about building a structure that won't be knocked over, that can stand for a long time, that can take this organization to the heights we all want to see it go. There have been guys who have stepped to the forefront. They've shown they're ready to find their footing.
Obviously, if you want to get on the court, you need to play defense. And I think that's something we've seen from this team this season.
Year one for me is learning, and I'm loving every part of it.
We've taken huge steps to putting the Trailblazers on the right path.
You got a lot of guys here that are wanting to prove who they can be in the league, and we're going to do it together.
As far as changes in year 3 under Chauncey Billups, I've covered a lot of different teams, and this is a bizarre situation because you're looking at a team that only has one player since Chauncey took over, I think 4 since training camp 2022. So he's trying to piece things together with new faces, and when you're doing that, you have to try to establish an identity, a culture first. Then you start seeing the wins pile up.
Welcome at a snowy evening here at Moda Center in Portland. Here is Simons for the win, drives into the lane, running right-hander.
Because you're playing the way the coach wants to play, you're all on the same page, and then you start weeding out some of those mistakes, and boom, you start winning ball games. You see evidence of them trying to be more up-tempo, trying to push, which is something they want Scoot to do that as well. Chauncey's trying to put together a team that plays hard, plays fast, and doesn't quit.
We know what we had to do. We had to keep the pace up. We had to get some stops, and definitely had to step up and be a little bit more aggressive tonight.
By the way that they play and as hard as y'all play, I'm going to give y'all a little break when we meet at the plane. All right, let's go. 1, 2, 3.
One of their big things over the last couple seasons, and heck, you could probably even say the last decade, is a great offensive team, but one that just doesn't get it done on the defensive end. In the NBA, it's an offensive league these days, so teams that can actually defend are somewhat at a premium because there's a lot of guys that can put the ball in the bucket. But there's not a lot of guys out there who make defense their hallmark, and I think we're seeing under Chauncey Billups that this team is making strides and really emphasizing the importance on the defensive end. And under Joe Cronin, really a team that is putting more emphasis on that side of the ball and having some early success with that.
This season, the first thing that jumps out at me is how the guys pick up full court to defend, and they love doing it. It'd be one thing if it was just the coach prodding them to go over there and up the ante defensively, but these guys are wired that way. Tumani Kamara wants to pick up the length of the floor. Scoot Henderson wants to get after people defensively. Shaedon Sharpe wants to slide his feet the length of the floor against the opponent's best guards. It's been fun to watch how all those pieces and concepts have gelled together.
With Chauncey, it's about hanging your hat on the defensive end and then using that defense to fuel their offense.
Blazers, for the second time in 24 hours, have the ball with under 3 seconds to go in a one-possession game.
For every game, there's prep. Whatever the situation may be, it's our responsibility as a staff, my responsibility as a defensive coordinator, to know how to prepare for it.
Let's go! Let's go!
So our guys are confident going into a game.
The Rockets are going to bring in Boban Marjanovic to defend the inbound pass from Malcolm Brogdon.
Blazers taking a lot of time to get the ball in.
Inbound to Grant. Desperation 3 for the top. He backed it in and tied the game.
I thought we packed nearly a whole season into the first 2 months of the way things came down with the injuries and people trying to replace them and rookies trying to slot them in.
It's over. It's a Rip City winner. The Blazers take down the Rockets 137-131.
There's been so much flux with our roster. We've barely tipped the edge of the iceberg. You know, we still have to figure out who's going to be consistent, who's our best defender, who's our late game lineup.
You knew there was no play physical. They tried. They did what they had to do. Great job, man. Way to hang in there. Let's go.
I am happy with where we are. I think as a staff, we're happy with where we are. I think the players are happy because there's a constant growth. There's a constant accountability there where we just going to continue to stack bricks on top of bricks and good days on good days. So I think we're happy with where we are.
Being innovative, a lot of that depends on the personnel you have, and I think that the coaching staff's an excellent job to recognize the strengths of their talent and use them where necessary.
He don't know what's going on. He got his back to you. All right? So you wait.
With Matisse coming off the bench,
Patience right here.
welcome a role anywhere on the ball club where he can help. You ask any coach, it's great to have options, and I think that they've actually created some options just by recognizing the kind of talent they've had on the floor.
There's his tip and a steal. Here's Thibault in the open court, and he lays it in. Matisse Thibault doing what he does best.
So much of team defense is communication. Being able to have that communication verbally, I think, opens up channels for the nonverbal reads to be made more easily. As someone who goes a little bit off script, it's not something that can always be said or communicated with words, but you just have to be able to read it. But when you have those channels open of that consistent talking.
Watch low, watch low. You're low, man, you're low, man. Mine, mine, mine. Mine, 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 mine. Take ball, take ball, take ball.
You open up this space where these sixth sense come into play, where you can then just feel when a player's going to do something.
He throws it right to Thibault up the floor, laid it in. Being a defensive playmaker.
And when we're at our best is when I think that's happening the most. I mean, it's always scary. Even though I go off script and I find success, it's always scary that I'm going to make the wrong choice. And I think that over my career, I've made enough mistakes to kind of hone in on when and where to ad-lib and call some audibles, and having the freedom and the trust from my coaching staff.
Matisse Thibault, you get a guy that's deflecting balls, stealing balls, blocking shots, blocking three-point shots. In the league, he's top 5 in all those categories. His steals to turnover ratio is excellent.
I mean, for any type of defensive accolade or accomplishment or streak, the thing that always comes back to for me is effort. Playing hard. I've read so many things about luck, and there's different types of luck. And there's this aspect of luck found through hustle or through motion. As a defensive player, you're reacting, so it's very hard to create those opportunities because it's always in reaction to somebody else and what their decision making is. And through effort and hustle, you give yourself a better chance to take advantage if the moment ever presents itself. So for, I guess, 27 games, I was able to do it. It's fun playing with such a young group of guys because there's this eagerness of trying to prove yourself, and also this aspect of just being wet behind the ears and trying to learn as much as you can. And being one of the few players on this team with over just a couple years in this league, I've found myself in a role to impose some of my wisdom on these younger guys. And it's been fun to just see how much I've actually learned over my couple years in the league, and then how much of a difference it can make to be able to pass that knowledge down to these guys who are having their first few years themselves.
Walker stands him up, bad pass, grabbed by Matisse, out ahead to Shane, the 1-2 to the cup. Eases it up and in a two-hander. Nice and easy.
I think a point of emphasis for us has been just the energy that we give off the bench and support, or the cheering for your teammates. I think across the league, especially with older teams, like, guys are not as happy for their teammates as I think we are for each other. And you can see it when you look at the bench and someone takes a charge and you've got every player and every coach on their feet cheering them on. And that kind of chemistry, I think, does a lot for young players and just teams in general in the league. I think this season has shown me a little bit clearer picture of who I am. Having seen many ups and downs in a short career, and now a few different locker rooms. I think this year has really just shown me that I've proven to myself over time my resiliency, and through that I've been able to find more poise in how I navigate adversity or new scenarios that I may have not experienced before. My dad always said laughter is key, and I've really found it to ring true, especially when the season starts to feel like a grind. Like you don't get anything more out of feeling bad for yourself, and the more ways you can find opportunities to laugh, and with more people, like the better you're gonna feel, the better people around you are gonna feel, and the better the situation you're in is gonna feel. And so for me, that's just been a huge priority, is just finding ways to ultimately have fun, because at the end of the day, I have this really cool job where I get to play basketball, the game that I've loved since I was a kid. So trying to remind myself of that, and in each moment just find the things that make me smile.
The generous will always prosper. He who refreshes others shall be refreshed. So when I come into the room, I always want to refresh people so I can continue to be refreshed. My energy is who I am. We get one day. I want to continue to bring out the best out of people. One thing I love is people are bringing that energy back to me. I had an idea with Coach Chauncey, and I said, man, when we come into the building, like, man, let's start off with some love. We start practice with some, what we doing? And what we doing is, man, what we doing is showing love. Hello, everybody. I'm Pooh Jeter, player development coach for the Portland Trail Blazers, but also assistant GM of the Rip City Remix. Remix! Yeah, we got talk to him! The G League is all about development. Not just players, but the whole staff.
Throw it up like you're sick. Oh, okay, Murray.
I just retired in June from playing basketball. If y'all don't know, I've been playing pro basketball for 17 years.
Good screen by Mika. Gets the switch. Pull up. Hand in his face. It doesn't matter.
I just transitioned into the side of coaching and doing front office in June. So the beauty part of my role is in the coaches meetings, but I'm also in the front office meetings.
Come on, dog.
I love, being around, our GM, Joe Cronin, and, our assistant GM, just being with them, watching games, learning that part, doing reports, scouting reports, or on the basketball side now, I had to, learn how to edit film. So this whole year one for me is learning, and I'm loving every part of it.
Oh! Oh! Get in, Murray! Okay, Murray! Look around, look around. You're on, you're on. There we go. Swing the leg. All the way up. Look around, look around. Yep, come on. You're on. How your ankle feel?
My role is to be like a messenger servant. Now, player development, a lot of times people think it is basketball, but it is like really just trying to bring out the best out of each player, right? It's within, because a lot of the times it's not always, like I said, it's not always about basketball. I talk to like everybody on the team, but of course the focus that I have as a player development coach is with Scoot Henderson. I'll never forget our first practice with the G League Ignite. The stuff that he was doing, his leadership at at 17, like mind you, he's supposed to be a senior in high school, so that's when I knew. I was like, oh yeah, this kid is gonna be real special. The beauty of Scoot is how humble he is. Character is always the first step. right? In my order, is character, then basketball. The beginning, it's been about growth and experiencing. Because that October and November, it was hard for me to see. But at the same time, I loved every part of it because he was able to, go through things, but then he got injured and he was able to watch. And that's part of development too, that people don't really look at it like that. He has the power and strength and speed to do whatever he wants.
Wow, they're going in overtime.
And, it's going to continue to come. Like I said, it's all about what Scoot wants to do. We can't force him to, drink the water. He has to be able to do it on his own, and on God's timing. Scoot is going to be face of this league for sure.
That last one, when he was whiting them, when he was so high up, dribble off of that. When you try to force it in there, keep your dribble.
I think Poole just brings a whole bunch to the table. I think we're just kind of compatible, honestly. I'm more on the quiet side when it's time to, I'll speak up. But I think Poole is just always talkative, and that just brings that energy out of me. They always just talking about being the leader and making my voice be heard, so I think Poole just complements that. In describing Scoot's game, you can't really put it into one or two words.
Scoot with the pick.
Super electric, fun as hell to watch, fun as hell to coach, fun as hell to be around. But also, you can see him when he's thinking and when he's trying to be really good in that moment. He kind of gives you this pause.
Here's Scoot the other way, and an impactful right.
He's such a physical specimen. 6'3", he's got big hands, a good handle of the basketball, and creatively makes some very nice passes.
Oh, right off the jump. Beautiful. Right
There's a true, authentic confidence that he has that you either have it or you don't.
Oh, yes, outside, feeling that three. Yes, Scoot. Got comfortable out there, Lamar.
I think the biggest learning lesson for this season for me is what I've been doing, and that's controlling what I can control. Going in there and just doing my best. I'm not taking it for granted. Going in there and giving it my all on both ends of the floor.
Let's go, let's get some stops real quick. Let's get some stops.
Even though there might be one bad game or two bad games, there's not going to be a bad season. There's not going to be a bad career. I feel like Scoot takes that approach with a lot of things. There's nobody harder on him than himself, and he's been able to deal with that internally in a way that is extremely impressive.
Come on, JG, I'm coming.
Whether it's a good night or bad night, just making sure I'm moving on to the next play, having a next play mentality, having a next game mentality, because we got 82 of these things.
That, more than anything, his mind is what gives me the confidence that he's going to be everything that he wants to be in this league.
I've built my mind to be this way and to be mentally strong, to be able to bounce back, because I've been through hardship. I think he's got this fiend personality of when it goes in, he wants more and more and more. Once the game continues to slow down for him, he's gonna be so good.
Down to 5 seconds left. The Blazers putting the finishing touches on the victory over the Sixers. It's a Rip City win.
Play the right way, share the ball, help each other, look what happens, right?
I'm just proud of our guys. What I would say is great players make coaches look good, man.
They're really growing at a fast pace because Chauncey is instilling the confidence in them to say, you might not be perfect every single night, but if you play the right way, if you work hard on a night-to-night basis, you are going to see the results of that.
Portland on the rebuild right now are coming off their largest win of the season. But for Damian Lillard, it's a storyline of teacher against student tonight. And we're underway. Wow, the precocious and poised rookie, and he ends the quarter with 11 points.
He's a guy who's had an up and down year, who's really starting to come into his own.
Blazers leading by 3, just on the way here in the second quarter.
And I love what Chauncey Billups told us about Scoot. He's like, I just need to keep him confident. He is a downhill guy with a tough finish with contact, flexing on.
Scoot and how he's built, nothing doesn't faze him. Like, okay, we got a trailblazer.
And off the turnover, here comes Henderson. The rookie lighting up the Portland night.
I like those Russell Westbrook comparisons because he is mean down the lane.
It was just fun to compete. That just gave me time to go out there and be myself, honestly.
When you talk about building culture, learning how to make the right plays, whether shots go in or not.
Boy, everything but the bucket that time for the Blazers.
That's getting better. That's growth.
And that's the end of the third quarter of play. Simons inside. Boy, he thread the needle.
Here, this is just excellent help side defense.
3-point Portland lead. Dame Lillard makes it a 1-point game. And Milwaukee miraculously out in front.
There is no fear factor whatsoever by the Blazers.
Simons steps through. Got it! Big time bucket by Anthony Simons. And that's it. Game over. The Blazers spoiling Dame Lillard's homecoming to Portland.
It was a fun game. It's a lot of meaning. It's a lot of emotion. We want to win the game, but I respected it.
I just didn't think the moment was too big for our team. We played together. We continue to get better just playing for each other.
We got our lick back.